So Canada just announced a roster that will be going over to Spain for a camp for the women's U17s. In preparation, of course, for the Concacaf U17 Championships. The top 4 teams will head to the FIFA Women's Under-17 World Cup taking place in Morocco this year. Let's talk about it real quick. Okay, so we have a roster that's selected, and there's some names which are interesting. This isn't necessarily the full roster, which makes this interesting, but I always like to make the point there is looking at the players and what can you kind of glean. Any names that you've seen before? I mean, there are. Let's go through the names. Maya Agnes, Joelle Bader, Tora Bettridge. You know what? We're going to do it this way. We're going to go to Canada Soccer and we'll read from there because this is much more easy. So, Khadija Cisse, Kaylin Dumas, and then Kylie Sandaluk, Emma Donnelly, Maya Agnes, or Agnes Maya, Molly Hale, Reese Kay, Marika Martineau, Merci McLean, or Maya Merci McLean, Bridget Matipula, Joelle Bader, Tor Betteridge, Olivia Chisholm, Emeretta, Chloe Taylor, Ashlyn Wellia, Adeline Fairweather, Alyssa Garrod, Gabriella Starkey, Melissa Kekich, Lacey Kendall, Alyssa McLeod, Shira Nicolazzo, and Melina Alexis Nian. I may have said this wrong, but the interesting thing is, so this is just a roster you take into a tournament. You're evaluating, there may be some more names coming in, there may not be other names. The thing that always stands out to me is where are these players coming from? The majority of these players, if you look at the list, and the listing is on Canada Soccer's in their press room, 2 of the players named aren't from any type of elite or NDC. And not to single those players out, but Ashlyn Willia and Adeline Fairweather aren't part of the Vancouver Elite, not part of the NDC Ontario, or part of CF Montreal, which is the elite program for Quebec. It's great that we get friendlies. I think the U17s have consistently gotten more friendlies in prep time than, say, their counterparts of the U20. So before Canadians start to yell at each other over how well a team does and how well development goes there, I think there's a conversation that needs to be had, which is how well are we actually bringing players in and recruiting. I mean, I just heard Desiree Scott talk about the idea of if you're in a rural part, say in Manitoba or Saskatchewan, how easy is it for you to be seen? If you don't have access to stuff like that, the pathways are very limited. I think this is where it could be interesting. I think we need to continue to build more pathways for our young players here in Canada because that gives them more opportunities to go through, which means you have to dismantle. You either have to dismantle the current pathways that are there, or you have to dismantle the current systems that are there, or you have to look at ways of getting more roads that lead to Rome, proverbially speaking. And I don't know if Canada Soccer is ready, or if we have infrastructure and coaches that can do that yet. Until then, it's going to continue to look this way, where it's effectively, if you're not an NDC, you don't really exist. And this is rather true from a woman's standpoint, because again, you don't have as many options. Now, hopefully, when you start to read with the NSL coming in, hopefully over the years, which is a crazy thing to suggest, but I think it would be great. Hopefully we actually start to see, okay, cool. I mean, the Calgary Wow is foothills, so you can't really move off that too much. And the Vancouver Whitecaps Elite are the Vancouver Rise. Maybe you start to see, Halifax Wave players or other clubs that are outside of that. I think there is talent in this country, and I think we have to continue to do our best to create bridges and pathways for those players. Not everyone's going to be an elite player, I understand that, but it's still give them the opportunity to reach whatever level they need to. Players shouldn't be prohibited, but they shouldn't be punished because we don't have the pathways necessarily built for them to go through. And that goes for not just women players, but all players, whether their socioeconomic status is, whether their races, if they have an ability, gender, whatever their ability is, if they have an ability, we should continue to build different pathways that can allow them to be successful. That rant aside, Allison McLeod back on this team. I think it's one of the holdovers from the last U17 team, as well as Gabriella Starkey. There are two players I'm looking at in this round here. I think that if they have big windows and continue to develop how the talent that we had and we're excited to see, I think they have the opportunity to lead this team. And then when other players come through, barring an injury, I think they are the two players I'll be looking at. I mean, looking for updates, but I think once you get to that era, and then when you get to that area specifically of Concacaf Championship qualifiers, I think you're going to look to those two players to really push forward. McLeod on the wing, Stocky in the midfield. I think those two players, even Olivia Chisholm, who was there as well, those three, I think I'm looking to see as though that triumvirate of leaders to kind of push this era. And again, because the U17s are going to be there every year, I wonder how Canada Soccer wants to treat this. So they try to bring the best team, or maybe do they look at the most potential in terms of a side and kind of grow it that way? I'm very much curious. But again, they're going to be in a tournament in Europe. They will be playing England, Scotland, and Sweden, which, to be honest, is a good set of competition to prepare you for the likes of the US, Mexico, Haiti, and then whatever 8 teams come out of qualifiers. But guys, let me know who you're excited to see as always. I'm going to stop talking right here.